Hi, greetings. It's me, Dr. Paul Gerhardt. And this week, we're talking about the sources of sustainability of competitive advantage. In this module, we are turning our attention to one of the central questions in the field of strategy. How do companies gain competitive advantage? And once they gain it, how do they keep it? Even organizations with well-designed strategies can fail if they misread how a competitive advantage is created and sustained. This week, we'll look closely at where competitive advantage come from, why some companies maintain it, and how leaders can position their firms in markets where competition is intense and constantly shifting. This topic brings together many ideas you've learned so far, but adds a new element, the recognition that advantage is rarely permanent. The real challenge is figuring out how to renew, protect, and redefine the basis of advantage over time. So let's talk about how competitive advantage emerges. Competitive advantage can emerge from external change or from internal innovation. Both are important, but they work differently. Here's some external sources of advantage. Industry evolve due to shifts in technology, customer preferences, price changes, or regulation. When these shifts occur, some companies are better positioned than others to take advantage of them. For example, firms with strong technological capabilities benefit from the breakthroughs in digital tools. Companies close to customers recognize unmet needs before competitors do. And organizations with flexible systems can pivot faster when external conditions change. External change does not automatically create winners. It simply changes the landscape. Whether a firm benefits depends on its internal capacity to interpret these shifts and act on them quickly. Internal sources of advantage often produce more durable forms of advantage. Companies that can generate new ideas, redesign their value chains, or rethink their assumptions often lead their industries. Innovation may involve designing new markets or customer segments, reconfiguring the value chain in a way competitors cannot easily match, reimagining what the product or service could be, delivering new performance combinations such as low price with stylish design or high quality with speed. Great companies don't just react to change, they create it. Internally generated innovation sets the stage for long-term advantage because it comes from capabilities that competitors cannot copy overnight. One major form of internally generated advantage is what Kim and Malborn call blue ocean strategy. Their research shows that companies often compete in saturated red oceans where firms fight over the same customers and same product attributes. In these environments, margins shrink and competition becomes a zero sum. Blue oceans are different. They represent uncontested market spaces where firms create new demand rather than fight over existing demand. Some examples include Cirque du Soleil's reinvention of the circus, Nintendo Wii's appealing to families and new demographics, Southwest Airlines rethinking airline service around low-cost simplicity, Airbnb's framing of hospitality through shared ownership models. A blue ocean approach asks leaders to challenge industry assumptions and explore combinations of product attributes that competitors have overlooked. The key idea is not to be slightly better than competitors, but to change the basis of competition entirely. Gaining advantage is difficult. Sustaining it is even harder. Once a company becomes successful, rivals study and imitate it. The firms that endure are the ones that build obstacles to imitation known as isolating mechanisms. These mechanisms include obscuring superior performance so competitors cannot easily diagnose what makes the firm successful. Deterrence, where a company signals that will respond aggressively to imitation. Preemption, where the firm occupies key positions in the market before competitors can act. Casual ambiguity, meaning the true source of the company's success is hard to pinpoint. Resource immobility, where the resources and capabilities required to imitate the firm cannot be easily purchased or transferred. Many organizations excel because their advantage depends on multiple interacting capabilities rather than a single source of strength. When a firm's culture, processes, and knowledge are intertwined, competitors struggle to replicate the formula. One pathway to competitive advantage is cost leadership. A firm gains advantage by producing at a lower cost than competitors while offering comparable value. There are several drivers of cost advantage. Economies of scale, where unit costs decline as output increases. Economies of learning, where repetition leads to efficiency and fewer errors. Process innovation, such as re-engineering or automation. Lower input costs, such as location advantages or bargaining power. Design for manufacturing, simplifying the product to reduce production complexity. High capacity utilization. An excellent historical example is the experience curve demonstrated by Ford's Model T. As production volume doubled, costs fell sharply. Scale and learning combined to produce a major and lasting cost advantage. Cost advantage is not simply about being cheap. It's about designing systems, processes, and structures that allow the firm to operate efficiently in ways competitors cannot easily duplicate. A second pathway to competitive advantage is differentiation. Firms that differentiate offer products or services that are perceived as unique and for which customers are willing to pay a premium. Differentiation may come from performance features, complementary services, design and branding, technology embodied in the product, customer experience, quality of inputs, employee skill and service culture, location, vertical integration. Successful differentiators achieve what Robert Grant calls product integrity. This means the product's features reinforce one another internally and the overall offering aligns externally with customer values and lifestyles. Differentiation is the most powerful when it is consistent across a firm's value chain. Apple, Harley-Davidson, and Starbucks succeed because every part of their organization reinforces the same identity and experience. So let's talk about pursuing both costs and differentiation. Although Michael Porter emphasized choosing one strategy, many contemporary firms integrate both efficiency and differentiation. This dual approach requires process innovation, brand strength, cross-functional coordination, strong design capabilities, high-quality inputs, effective incentives that reward both efficiency and creativity. Companies like Toyota, IKEA, Southwest Airlines have demonstrated that it is possible to combine low-cost structures with meaningful differentiation. The challenge for leaders is to maintain alignment across the organization so that cost savings initiatives do not undermine the element that create uniqueness. Competitive advantage also varies depending on the type of market. In trading markets such as stock trading, opportunities for advantage are limited because markets are efficient. Only those with superior diagnosis, contrarian insight, or lower transaction costs can generate advantage. In production markets, however, competitive advantage depends heavily on barriers to imitation and innovation. Firms win by developing unique resources and protecting them through isolation mechanism. This means that in most real-world industries, leaders must concentrate on building capabilities that are difficult to copy and then continue investing in them. Let's put it all together. Let's talk about the strategic imperative. Combining these ideas leads to several insights that are critical for MBA students. Advantage emerges from both external change and internal innovation. Leaders must monitor the environment while building internal capabilities that allow rapid adaptation. Advantages erode unless they are protected. Sustainability requires mechanisms that inhibit imitation and maintain uniqueness. Cost and differentiation are not mutually exclusive. Successful firms often integrate elements of both, but doing so requires organizational discipline. Blue ocean opportunities redefine industries. Instead of competing over existing demand, firms that create new markets fundamentally shift the strategic playing field. Strategic managers must continually ask, what makes us different, and how hard is that difference to copy? These questions drive the development of strategy that not only win in the short run, but remain viable in the long run. Here's my closing thoughts. As you complete the assignments and prepare for your strategy research presentations, focus on the logic behind competitive advantage. When evaluating any company or industry, identify where the advantage comes from. Assess whether the advantage can be sustained. Evaluate how innovation can either reinforce or replace the existing basis for advantage. The best strategic leaders are those who understand that competitive advantage is not a static condition. It is an evolving relationship between a firm's internal capabilities and the external environment. I look forward to your insights in this week's discussion forum and seeing how you apply these ideas in your strategy analysis. Thanks so much for your valuable time. I hope that you have a great day, because only you get to choose how you feel about it. I'm Dr. Paul Gerhardt.